Hello, my name's Father Vince. I'm a Church of England priest and a primary school teacher based in Enfield in North London. And today I'd like to talk about the fall. The fall is a key concept in Christian theology. And the fall really is all about why there's something wrong with the world, why things go wrong, why people do terrible things, why creation isn't quite what it should be. Now, if you remember from my last video, if you watched it, God created the universe, created the world, and it was good. But why is there so much suffering and death in the world? Why is there sin in the world? Well, in the Bible, in the book of Genesis, straight after the creation stories, we hear the beautiful but rather alarming story of Adam and Eve. Now the serpent was more crafty than any other wild animal that the Lord God had made. He said to the woman, "Did God say you should not eat from any tree in the garden?" The woman said to the serpent, "We may eat of the fruit of the trees in the garden, but God said, 'You shall not eat of the fruit of the tree that is in the middle of the garden, nor shall you touch it, or you shall die.' But the serpent said to the woman, 'You will not die, for God knows that when you eat of it, your eyes will be opened, and you will be like God, knowing good and evil.' So when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was a delight to the eyes, and that the tree was to be desired to make one wise, she took of its fruit and ate. And she also gave some to her husband, who was with her, and he ate." So, in this story, we hear the serpent tempting Eve. Eve takes the fruit from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, and she eats it and she gives it to Adam, her husband. And this story just tells us that God, although he's created us in love, he's also created us in freedom. If God created us just to do whatever he wanted us to do, we'd be like robots. But God created us to be free because God is love, according to Christian theology, and freedom has to exist within love. Christians believe we're created in love, but we're free. And that means we're free to choose to do the wrong thing. And it's here, in this beautiful story, we hear how the first sin was committed. And Christians believe that that's come through the generations, what we might call original sin. Remember, according to the Bible, we're created in the image of God. But somehow, because of our own freedom, our own choice to do what is not good, somehow our lives and creation itself has been marred. And the story of Adam and Eve describe that. And it's interesting that straight after they eat the fruit, they start blaming each other, don't they? And they begin to be ashamed of what they've done. Adam blames Eve, and Eve blames the serpent. And the serpent, of course, hasn't got a leg to stand on. And all these things show us how sin makes people turn in on themselves, to hide away. God's walking through the garden and Adam is hiding from him because he knows he's sinned. And that's how we feel when we do something wrong, don't we? We want to hide away. Certainly not something we're proud of. So, sin, it's something which has entered into the world, not part of God's plan for creation, but something, of course, which has had devastating effects on humanity. The story of Adam and Eve, by modern ears, sounds rather charming and quaint, perhaps, but it really does tell a devastatingly bleak truth that despite the beauty of God's creation, despite its wonder, somehow we have decided to turn against God and sin. And that's had a terrible knock-on effect. But some good news. According to Christian belief, God doesn't leave humanity in this pickle. He puts a rescue plan into operation, and he calls a people. And that's what we will be talking about in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.